What up, guys? Today we're going to talk about how you can protect your trades. And right away, one of the best things to do it is hedging. Now you may be wondering, what the heck is hedging? Hedging is the ability to lock a trade before you lose more money and without also necessarily closing that trade. Say this is the market is going up, and for whatever reason, you believe that this is a good sell. And then you place your little sell here, which is what I did in one of my trades. Okay, so I sold USD MXN, but what happens is the market went against my initial position. And it went a little lower, a little up, and just kept going against my initial position. And now I'm exposed to this vulnerability here. There's only two options now. I can either use a stop loss and actually give that money to the market, which could be, let's say, $20. Then I can give that money to the market right away. Or I can do the other way, which is hedging. Instead of closing the trade, I'm actually going to place another buying position right away. So now, no matter if the market continues going up, I will not lose more than what I'm losing initially, because this trade is going to actually be paying for the upcoming loss of the initial trade, which is this one. So again, you sold your USD or USD MXN, then the market's going against you, for example, $100, and you don't want to lose more than that. So what you're going to do, you're going to buy USD MXN. It has to be the same lot, by the way, or actually not. You can use partial hedging or total hedging, but that's for another video. I'm just going to focus on hedging general, which is the total hedging. Now, say here is $200. The market moved against you a little more. Now you're not losing only $100, but you're actually losing $200. So that's actually a lot more. But then because you opened the same lot size in the initial trade, you now have $100 of profit on here. You're making $100 on one end and you're losing $200 on the other end. That means you only have a real $100 off of drawdown. Now, there's a lot of nuances here because it's not that simple. If it was that simple to just protect the trades like that, everybody would do it and then everybody would get rich. That's not how it works. It's much more dynamic, like I always say, okay, because the market's a living organism. There are plenty of things that can happen to the market. The first thing is if you hedge that trade and then the trade goes against you, you can close this trade at break even. But now that you have the other trade that you open that hedge initially, now you have one trade at break-even point, and now you have another trade that needs to be closed at break-even. So you have to wait for the market to do this, for example. So like I said, there's a lot of nuances, and on top of this, you're paying swaps. Sometimes you're paying swaps on both hands. So if you sold USD MXN and you're paying 20 cents a day, and you bought another trade on USD MXN here, you can also be paying 40 cents a day. So not only do you have to leave the hedging situation or the hedging channel, but you also have to leave fast because now time is against you. You have 40 cents a day here and then you have 20 cents a day on the other one. So now I have 60 cents a day, and that's for every 0.01 lot size. Okay, so if you're trading a 0.10 lot size, this money here can increase significantly. Or if you're trading a full lot size, which is even worse, you're paying that times 100. And if it's more than that, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. That's why it's not that simple as just use that, but it's definitely one of the ways that can help you protect your account. And how to get out of the hedging. If you were to place the trade here and now you're stuck in this position in which you're inside the little channel, the best way for you to leave this channel, because now you're stuck in this channel, doesn't matter if the market goes up or down, you're stuck in this channel losing the initial $100 hypothetically, you have to wait for the market to go back to the break even. Now you close the second trade that you opened initially to cover that hedge, and then once you close that trade, you're gonna have to go back to the market to go back to break even, or at least last profit. It doesn't necessarily has to go back to break even exactly, but at least give some of the initial $100 back. It could be maybe $50, maybe $30, maybe $20. And once you feel comfortable to accept that loss, now we can close that trade and now we can continue again on the other markets. That's one of the ways to leaving it. Or if you're stuck in hedging on both ends, then the market goes against you. What people do usually as well is they open small trades inside the channel to try and profit inside the channel, so that the profits they make here, it's going to cover up that loss so that they can shrink the channel. So instead of the channel being this long, the channel, if they make profit inside of the channel from the other trades that they open, which is another strategy. Okay, there's millions of strategies. They shrink the channel, and they can shrink that more and more and more until they eventually leave that hedging situation, and then they go back and do it again. Okay, so that's why I like doing hedges, because it just gives you a lot of ways to think about it. It's almost like you're playing chess, you know. That's why I like the market like that. The market is very risky. You can lose all of your money. So that's one of the main reasons to why you should not put all of your money here. And you have to understand that if you're not sure of what you're doing, especially in the beginning, you should not mess with it because you probably will lose everything. There's no other way. If you want to do high interest rates, 5% a month or 6% in 1 month or 10%, there is no way to doing that without taking more risk. There's just no other way. If you want to make a country's interest rate or a bond interest rate, that's one thing, which is like what, 6% a year. Anything above that, you have to take risks. It doesn't matter if it's through stocks or crypto or Forex or options, but you got to understand that there's no easy money in this world. You can fight against it, but there just isn't. Okay, there's no free lunch, as people always say. So boom, what I would do here probably is I will buy USD MXN here, and now I can be covered. And now I have 2 trades. And now I'm stuck inside of this little channel here. And as long as I have margin, which is very important, okay, you have to have margin for that. One thing that's worth mentioning is you have to have a lot of margin, or at least enough margin so that you have time in your favor, because you can be stuck in hedging for weeks, even months, or even years, like worst case scenario, years. And worst of the worst case scenario, you can be stuck in a hedging position for the rest of your life. I'm not even kidding. That's why I'm saying this is not... This is not a little joke. You got to be careful. With that being said, I hope you liked the video. This is not financial advice. Again, this is what I do with my money. I'm a Forex trader for over 6 years, and I just share a little bit of what I do and the lessons that I learned along these years. So I hope you like it. If you have any suggestions or anything you'd like to comment, let me know in the comment section down below. Yeah, take care and be careful. Be careful. Bye.